Yes. We can't cover everything because this is going to be like a 10-hour episode, but I kept the most controversial one for last, which is Fulltone.
Of course you have.
Fulltone is back in business and announced a full relaunch in collaboration with Jackson Audio, which was a surprise to many people because obviously Mike Fuller, I think it was 2022, like the end of 2022, he announced that he's going to retire the business and go over to his ranch in Tennessee, where he also has like a tone studio and like recording studio, and it's just gonna do that. And now, May 2023, announced that he would sell off its final pedals built in the California outlet. At the same time, Fuller also revealed he would relocate to Nashville and revive the brand in the near future. Well, and I remember when that happened, immediately people went crazy with the prices for a simple OCD overdrive. And suddenly it was like, there's going to be a scarcity of these now that they're not in production anymore. And things were very very weird. But then also kind of the whole situation went back down again, and you can now get them for reasonable pricing. Apparently,
they're starting to come down.
Yeah, apparently the plan for them is
they're starting to come down. Yeah,
100%. Apparently the plan for them. So they made a little like short documentary, which you can find on YouTube. I encourage everyone to see. To watch it. It's 10 minutes, and you can make of it whatever you want. Apparently, the plan is that Fulltone is also going to make new products, then in collaboration with Jackson Audio, and they're going to work close in prototyping, and then everything else is going to be taken off Mike Fuller's hands. So pretty much the whole manufacturing part is going to be taken over by Jackson Audio, and apparently they have very up to date production planned. But it costs quite. So I had a very heated conversation on pedalboard.org or in their Facebook group, which is like the largest German pedalboard group on Facebook, and people were discussing like, okay, now because this is going to be like more mass produced or whatnot, the whole thing like pricing is going to go down or pricing is going to go up, and people were talking about it, and I was following the thread and what people were saying, and then I was looking at what's going on in the used market, and I was looking at the prices, and I was like, I'm not sure anything really is going to happen. You know, prices are not going to go up, and they're not going to go down. Fulltone is going to be able to sell new products again, and it's going to, sell their classics, and it's going to be made in the US. The more interesting question is, who is going to want to sell Fulltone products after all the things that happened to Mike Fuller, or that happened around him during the controversy about some of the comments that he made and some of the behavior that he showed, which he apologized for. But yeah, I mean, when you say something, then it's because it's in you. It's not because it just slipped out because you had a brain fart or something. And if there was a brain fart, there's still something in your brain that made you fart it out. So, I think
That's like, it's kind of like if you eat beans, you got to expect, a little tutti frutti at the other end. It just comes with the territory. But for me, like, I don't give a shit what this guy says. Like, if he says, the most absurd thing, and some people get offended by it, if you would see what I say on a regular basis, I would get canceled so easily because I just say whatever comes to mind, and I say some really stupid stuff. This guy, however, he was running a business, and of course, he said some stuff that some people are going to agree with, some people are going to disagree with. I think that if we put that aside and we just look at the product itself, is there a demand for Fulltone? They have some classic pedals that some people absolutely adore. And it might not be you and I's cup of tea, but for those who want it, knowing that a company like Jackson Audio is taking over the production, and from what because I've seen that short documentary, and it looks like the owner of Jackson Audio really has a deep appreciation for Fulltone and the legacy, and I don't think he's going to go and fuck it up. I think he really has an intention to keep making things the way that Mike Fuller intends to make it. So if that's what they do, what's going to happen, as far as I can see, is that all the price hiking. Fuck, I got a hard time talking. Like, all the price hike on the older pedals are going to start to come down because they're going to be doing them again, and then you're going to have all the people saying, "Oh no, it's not made the same. The old stuff is good. The new stuff is shit." I can't see that happening with Jackson Audio because all they do is like stellar quality, and if they're taking the legacy of Fulltone and they're really respecting it, we should be having, like, maybe not 1-to-1 comparison, but pretty fucking close. Because, I mean, it's not like there was some special recipe that went into making those pedals that you can't analyze and reproduce. Yeah. Vox has told you that they analyze the old Vox and they can reproduce them. And you could probably do the same fucking thing with a pedal. Yeah. So what's going to happen is all the people keeping the prices really high on those old ones is going to start to come down. And we're going to see a shift for the consumer that wants to get, maybe, I don't know, the Fulltone overdrive, whatever, like the OCD or something like that, Yeah. Some of the rotary stuff that he was doing. Then you can get them at a normal expected price instead of paying a fucking premium because the company doesn't exist anymore. So, yeah, I'm interested to see more what they do with the price tag and the end user and the quality of the product, as opposed to whatever controversy, because Mike Fuller's still associated with them, but now there's a new head, and that head is going to be taking care of public relations moving forward. So interesting. I'm looking forward to see what happens, but yeah, it seems like once you piss off people in the guitar community, then there's like really no coming back. So this guy can apologize all he wants, but it's like people are not wanting it. Yeah, maybe Jackson Audio made a false move by getting associated, or maybe people are willing to move forward and just have fun playing pedals again and not make it so political.
Yeah, that's the thing, and it seems like that's where where things get kind of divided, in a way. So there is a certain array of people who are like, this guy has been saying some awful things, and I hate him for it. And I don't want to be associated with his products. So they throw everything that has the name Fulltone on out of their rig and they're selling it. And then there are people who are like detaching that and they said like, well, I don't care what he's talking about in public and what his opinions on certain topics are. I'm playing his product because I like it. I'm also not questioning what Apple's CEO is doing behind closed doors, or what his views on political or social issues is, or and I don't even know who the CEO of Samsung is. He might be a total asshole, for what we know. We have no clue. But obviously, the big difference is that this industry is so niche and is so small but so well connected that and people seem to be so much more emotional about these things then obviously then you get that kind of like diverse movement to like one side of the spectrum where you're like, I don't want to be associated with this guy ever, and other people are like, I don't care. I'm just playing this Overdrive because it sounds good, and I don't care if the guy is a total dork. And yeah, that was kind of the thing in that thread where the discussion where I was like, okay, I don't see the prices going up and down. I see more as like who is going to sell them after all of these things that happened, and we're gonna have to see. They can do the direct sales. They're definitely going to sell direct. That's for sure. Guitar Center threw them out. Reverb threw them out, and a couple of other retailers as well. And now I see that after the news of the relaunch spread, I saw a few European dealers saying we're trying to get those pedals back in stock and whatnot. So apparently, it's gonna go this way or the other, and people are just going to make a decision on whatever they see fit. I was never a big fan of his pedals. I think the OCD is an okay overdrive. Many people love it. I think the full drive was an okay kind of overdrive / boost. I had more appreciation for the Deja Vibe stuff. So the vibe stuff that he did was really, really cool.
Yeah.
But that's about it. And as far as Jackson Audio goes, I have no experience with their products at all, but I commented on a Facebook post around this relaunch. Somebody posted it, and there was one guy that said, well, Jackson Audio made one great pedal that I bought, and then I bought another pedal, and that pedal was totally terrible, and I had to send it back 3 times, and then they ended up keeping it and giving me my money back. So while that is an isolated event, obviously, seeing the stuff that Jackson Audio does, which is more advanced as far as the internal things go, well, I'm happy to wait and see what is happening. I don't expect fluctuation in the market, but I also don't expect that this relaunch is going to be overly successful, because if I look at the pricing of an OCD as new as it's on Fulltone's website right now, and if I compare that with the pricing in the used market with a difference of almost 100 euros, I'm like, why would I buy a new one? It's the same stupid pedal.
Yeah. And I think what we're seeing too, because I know you have a deep appreciation for stand-up comics like George Carlin and guys like that from the 1980s, which were very vocal about their own political opinions. And I think we're starting to see, without making this political, I think we've seen too much politics and personal beliefs get seeped into companies, and then companies are afraid to get associated with someone because they said something bad one time, and you see people drop out. And then if the public is like, okay, maybe we'll give Fulltone a second chance, you see all the vultures come in oh, maybe we're going to get associated with Fulltone again. And you can tell a lot of people are full of shit. They pretend to have principles when they don't.
Yeah.
And I love seeing that a company wants to make a comeback and the public tells you whether they accept it or not. So if they have success, that means people have moved past this and they're willing to start purchasing the products again. Because I'm certain there's got to be a lot of diehard Fulltone fans. Yeah. Much like you, I don't really care for Fulltone. I had the OCD version 1.4 and I tried to love it. Everyone was telling me, oh man, those Fulltone are amazing with the Vox amplifier. For my personal taste, I thought it was okay at best. It didn't play well with other pedals. So for me, it's I don't really give a shit if they're there or not. But if they are and people are willing to give them a shot again, then I'm happy to see that companies can redeem themselves. There was another company we talked about when we weren't recording, and I'm not going to mention the company, but it was a company that kind of screwed their client base by, taking circuits out of one pedal and putting it into another enclosure. Some people are going to know what I'm talking about. And they're still around. So I figure if they're still around and they were screwing the people directly,
Yes.
I think that is a much bigger offense than saying something political on Twitter or whatever the fuck, right? So, yeah, we'll see. Being a free market and we vote with our money, maybe Fulltone is going to go like this, or maybe they're have a resurgence, or maybe they're not going to make a splash and next year they're going to close again. Who fucking knows? But it's kind of interesting to see like the political landscape get mixed in with consumerism and see how people react to this and vote with their hard-earned money.
Yes.
So, yeah, very interesting topic.
Yes.